Good morning, Reed here. I know, I'm back at Orchestra Farm. Said I wasn't going to be here, but my wife brought my kid to the bus stop that's relatively far from the house since our other two kids start school next week. That gave me a little bit more time this morning, so here I am. And, I'm wondering, I should maybe wear rain boots in here in the morning. Oh my goodness, there's a fence. There's a gate open. Fix that. There. Anyway, and because there's just so much dew on the ground that my boots are going to be all wet. And as we know, there's lots of water here as I squish through the soil. So anyway, the seasons are changing. It's a lovely thing. We're having those nice cooler nights and still the wonderful warmth of the day. It's not quite autumn yet, but I can feel it. My little child who's 5 asked me, are the days getting shorter? And I was like, yes, they most certainly are. Now, one thing I need to do as I'm walking past here is I need to come in and trim this comfrey all the way to the ground because I need to make a tea with that. I'm noticing my cucumbers and tomatoes at home have almost no fruit on them. And so there's a definitive lack of potassium then. And comfrey is a great way to do that. Now if I take that along with some banana peels and I stick them in a bucket and let them ferment for a bit, then I'll really get some potassium draw out of them. I'm curious why this gate's open. Life. And I had a nice day yesterday with my kids. Alright, let's check this out. I'm not sure how well that's coming through on the phone, but there's some smoke in that sky. Look at that red sun. So to all the people out there who are experiencing fires, and to all the other creatures in the landscape for that matter, I wish you all well. It's an interesting thing of succession, right? Like, fire is actually a natural part of existence, and it does play a role. So even if it's perceived as a bad thing from most human perspectives, when it's like uncontrolled, I think one of the important factors of nature is that it is uncontrolled. And we as people are not necessarily doing our best job being the keystone species that we could be. Oh, my family did not pick all the blueberries the other day. Yay for me. But, before we propose ourselves to be a keystone species, just that notion of nature's not supposed to be controlled, per se. Influence, certainly. Just like the beavers do a wonderful job, speaking of keystone species, influencing how ecologies function. But, we could be doing at least as much as the beavers. So, as the seasons change and things move, that recognition of, we're noticing more and more, just like my daughter, noticing that the days are getting shorter. And, look you blueberries. I hope that we collectively are noticing that we could become a keystone species. Oh, my wife sent me some messages. Look at all that water. So my thought here, speaking of keystone species, is to actually come in and dig serious trenches that become canals. That's how much water is here. And I take the soil that was in the trench and pile it up on the side, which is basically what I did here with the blueberries. This So right down the middle here, I took the soil that was there and popped it up on the side here for these ones. And I actually did the same thing, I just took that same soil and popped it up on this side. And minus the notion of needing the grass and the other grasses that are here, it's working out really good. So I'm hoping that my proposition of turning this place into a berry, nut, and pawpaw place comes together. To be seen. But that recognition of, seasonality, shifting things, how are we impacting our world, environment, ourself, our communities? Are we, and I don't think that parasites are particularly bad things in general. Although if you're the one with the parasite, I can understand why you would think that. Everything has its place. And, death and destruction aren't necessarily the worst things. They lead to succession, allows systems to start over. And even as empires rise and fall, other ones come in and life progresses. And it's that life progression that's important. So, just like my kids going to school or noticing the changes of things or realizing this is not a good place to do tomatoes. But the berries seem to be really happy. And both going with what is along with having a mindset for the future so you can see the long-term potentials that are there and plan accordingly for them. I love that kind of stuff. With that, I've got some short videos coming out soon relating to my upcoming album, Uridine. It's a mythological project. So fun in that regard. I've got a story called The Out of Time Tea House that I'll be telling on September 21st and figuring out how to share it further. To stay up on all that kind of stuff, go to my website, bendingreeds.com. Subscribe to my newsletter. I've also got a tea ritual guide there if you're interested in developing practices to help you drop in more in your day and in your life. And with that, I want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. It makes a huge difference around here. And have too much fun.